Hey, it's Chance, and I'm back with another book. This is the Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master's Rulebook. Now, this was printed in 1983. It doesn't say Basic Dungeons and Dragons, nor does it say Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know a lot about this book, and well, I'd like to. So, let's talk about it. Well, right away we can make a few assumptions. Got a guy fighting a dragon. This is TSR. We know that Advanced Dungeons and Dragons started back in 1978. So this is 1983. As you can see, right around in this area. 1983, May. And this is a book for DMs, Dungeon Master's Rulebook, by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson. The OG fathers of tabletop gaming as we know it today. Do not read this booklet. This booklet contains information for the Dungeon Master. You will have less fun playing if you learn information ahead of time. Big part of the game is the mystery and excitement that comes from not knowing all the answers. Later, when you are more an experienced player, you may wish to look up some details or even become a dungeon master yourself. And when the time comes, everything you will need is right here. If you have not read the player's manual, you will probably not understand most of this booklet, but if you have played the solo adventure, finished reading the rest of the player's manual, and want to become a dungeon master, then welcome. God, it's a mouthful. I need more commas and shit. Okay, let's see. Looks like D&D itself started in 1974. So this was reprinted in 83, I guess? I don't know. Got a picture of a dungeon master. Or, I don't know, some guy with a key around his neck and a book. It's thick. Could be a Stephen King novel. Fuck it. This looks very simplified. Very... I want to say that this is basic Dungeons and Dragons. This would be more something to check out with my buddy Tons. He is a bit of an old school buff. I have played second ed AD&D. I've played 3.0, 3.5, a little 4th, and 5th edition. This is before my time. Hell, this is before I was born. And it's kind of bog standard from the looks of it. Some creasing. Book's in good shape, though, for being fucking old. 83, that'd make it 5 years older than I am, so 40 years. 40 years, this book has held up surprisingly well. Now, this is unfortunate. I ran out of space in my other camera, so here we are, switching over. I apologize for any loss. Still in the Dungeon Master's Rulebook. I'm looking at some of the art, which is good. Ooh, Brigandine armor. I know what that is. Look how smart I am. Looks like it's got a sample dungeon, group adventure map. A lot of really basic things. I think this is from Basic D&D. I want to say basic. Please comment down below if you know. Oh god, I'd love to find out more about this. And I would love to eventually do... I don't know, something about each edition of D&D. I don't know where you could buy this. Probably eBay. I've heard that a lot of old books got reprintings. Especially the boxes that came for basic Dungeons and Dragons. So that could be a good thing to snag up if you're interested in this. Let's see. I wish I had the player's manual, because the easiest way to tell if this was basic is that elf and dwarf would be classes. And there would be... I don't think thief was a thing yet. Shape of breath, different dragon breaths. This one and this one have stayed with D&D. This has kind of gone by the wayside. Be nice to see them bring that back. You never know. I might use this. These are just example monsters. Elf, gargoyle, ghoul, goblin, green slime, gray, halfling. This is all just stuff to fight your opponents with. I'm pretty certain this is basic D&D. Such a small book. But for back then, it didn't need to be humongous. They embellished it with Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. They brought out more of what it could be. And that's okay. You know, these things happen, and it's alright. For old school players, this is probably a lot more interesting. I never had the opportunity to play basic. Never really felt a huge attachment to a lot of the older stuff. Well, that's been a brief look at Dungeons & Dragons, Dungeon Master's Rulebook, I believe for basic D&D. I'm sorry I didn't have more information. I would love to hear from you guys. If you like what I do, and you enjoy this hobby as much as I do, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click the notifications bell to hear about all of my recent uploads. And with that, always remember to keep adventuring.